Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the Moon Griffon Show, it's Monday, best day of the work week for us people that like to work. And, of course, Brandon, you got paid Friday, so you're not going to be happy for about 2 weeks.
By
the way, that's not true, folks. He just got married. He's happy all the time. All righty, yeah, I'm just throwing that. By the way, because I like to tell people face to face, in case you think I did not dog you Friday, you're wrong.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I made sure not to listen.
I told him you was on paid vacation again.
I was trying to decrease any stress on Friday, so I made sure not to listen.
And I paid you Thursday, so you were good.
It was all good.
That's right. You wouldn't pay to listen like you have to today. All right, folks. GOP office firebombed in North Carolina. CNN says it's Trump's fault. Not making this up, folks. The people in the press. You talk about wackos. Is the people in the press. Bananas Foster's fighting against the big guy. I wonder why he made so much money in the oil and gas industry. Just saying. We've got that on the program. I mean, we've got a bunch of stuff loaded up today, and of course the press and Hillary and all that stuff is coming up. But wait till you hear this piece. They interviewed people in college. They're all voting for Hillary, but when they ask them exactly what are you voting for Hillary for, what was the accomplishment, you ought to listen to this. We'll play that for you. But before we get to that, I do want to. A shout out, and we lost what I think is a real conservative, a real man, in Clyde Holloway, Public Service Commissioner. He passed away yesterday. I don't know if you've heard that, but Clyde Holloway, longtime conservative, passed away. He was the current chairman of Louisiana Public Service Commission, former congressman. So anyway, he's no longer with us. He passed away. You know, he was. I knew him. I happen to know Clyde, and I say pretty well as I could have known him. He was such a decent person. He was such a fighter. Man, when he was in Congress and Public Service Commission, he was such a fighter, and he didn't have to, he wasn't Scott Angel. He didn't have to wait for the wind to blow to decide, well, how does this affect me? Clyde Holloway was a man's man. He stood up for the things he believed in. He never waited to say, well, let me see what would be the best way for me to go and how does it help me? He was a guy that stood up with Ronald Reagan. He stood for pro-life, stood for the real traditional marriage. There's only going to ever be one marriage, a man and a woman. I don't care what the law does or what the law says. There's one marriage. It's a man and a woman. It's the only way it's going to ever be in God's eyes. He stood up for the social principles, but he stood up for the conservative principles as well. And I, for one, will miss him and miss his wisdom that he gave. I always thought he was a smart guy. Some people didn't like him because he was pretty brash. He did not mind challenging people. He did not mind, and I like guys like that. That's why I liked Senator Vitter. No matter what you say about Vitter, he was a tough conservative. We just don't have people like that anymore. We just don't. We got Angel types. I can promise you, every decision Angel makes is weighed on what's best for him, not what's best for you. This guy was a man's man, and that's what I liked him. I really did. I've had him on the program many, many times, and I just hate to see. I'm not going to get into detail. I know a little bit more detail about what he had and passing away and stuff because I don't think that's my job to do that. But I do want to mention that Clyde Holloway, Public Service Commission, also the chairman, passed away yesterday, and I just hated for him and his family. I don't have any arrangements yet. I think they're working on all that. I know his wife's from Kathy for 50 years. They had 4 children, 9 grandchildren, 6 siblings. I know his family, I think her family is from New York, so it may take a little time to get everything together. If I get the information, I'll be glad to pass it to you. But Clyde Holloway is dead after about a year fighting an illness that ended up taking his life. I knew he was sick. I never did know everything. I still don't know everything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything on it. I don't, but I did know a little bit of information. It's sad. He just was such a good conservative guy. He fought for everybody. He just was a really, really good guy. He didn't mind fighting the liberals. He didn't mind fighting politicians. And like I said, he was a decent guy. And really decent guy, and he'd be well missed. So anyway, if you don't know, Clyde Holloway, who is the chairman of the Public Service Commission, has passed away. By the way, Brandon, the only thing I did, and maybe you caught it, did they have his age on here?
I think it was 72, if I remember right.
That's a young man. As I get closer to 72, that's a young man.
He was 72.
Yeah. And he had aged pretty good bit. just by talking to some people that knew him, really were close during this tough time. It was a tough time for him, tough time going through everything that he went through. So once again, my prayers go out for his wife and his family and his kids and everybody involved with Mr. Holloway. Once he was in he lived in Forest, Louisiana, Brandon. He was in the
Forest Hill, yeah.
Yeah, Forest Hill. And he was in nursery business. You know, if you go through that, that's what a nursery capital of the world is for growing plants and stuff. So he was a big part in that business. Clyde Holloway gone at 72. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. GOP office firebombed in North Carolina. Swastika spray painted nearby. You notice nothing happens to Hillary's offices. Nothing happens to her camp. Because decent people don't do that. The left has Looney Tunes, crazy Looney Tunes in it. I mean, Looney Tune on top of Looney Tune. This is what they do. Very violent people. You ever notice how the people on the left are never happy? Never happy. They're not happy if they're making millions. They're not happy if they voted for somebody that was going to make them happy. They're never happy. They're never going to be happy because it's a spiritual problem. But they're never going to be happy voting for Democrats. They voted for Obama. Didn't work out too well. Voted for Hillary. Not going to work out too well. But you can't tell them that. So we got an office firebomb, and CNN has accused Trump of the firebomb, Brandon. They accused Trump saying his rhetoric has caused this. Not the bomber. Not the person that, you cannot throw a bomb into a headquarters and blow it up. You do realize that a firebomb burned inside a local Republican Party headquarters, Orange County, North Carolina, on Saturday. By the way, North Carolina, because of Obamacare, 250,000 more lost their health care insurance because of Obamacare. But those people, it's Nick and Tuck in the North Carolina state to vote for Hillary, who's going to do the same thing that Obama did. But the firebombed it, and they blame Trump. They blame Trump. They don't blame the person that blew them up. They don't blame the people that bombed the office. No, let them go. Hell, probably got some cops out there wanting to beat them up. They don't blame the person that did it or the persons that did it. They don't blame the people who got behind it. No, it's Trump's fault. Trump's fault. Those same people you say, sticks and stones break my bones, but names can never hurt me. How is it Trump's fault? By the way, there was another story saying the nation is divided because of Donald Trump. This nation's been divided for a long time. Obama divided this nation. As I predicted, the day after he won, divide and conquer Obama, they're blaming Trump on that. He's divided the nation. I'll get to that a little later. It's amazing to watch. He divided the nation? The man's been on the political scene for what, less than 2 years, and he divided them, and not letting people roll through the borders. That would never divide us. Not coming up with Obamacare, which is the most sinful, idiotic program they ever came up with. Not man-made global warming. That don't divide a nation. What divided a nation was Donald Trump. It's phenomenal to continue to watch this. As Hillary Clinton continues to get a free ride in an election, the press, the media, has gotten so bad, folks. The propaganda of the media will destroy this country. There's nobody reporting anything anymore. They just take the angle and run with it. That's not the press corps. And there's Obama. President Obama wants to come up with about 2 or 3 sources, Brandon. I don't know if you read it. You weren't here Friday. I might have did it Thursday. 2 or 3 sources that's the news and that's the truth and you don't get anything else. And guess who controls this? Obama, Hillary. That's what the president wants. So you ask about the Hillary Clinton voter. Well, I think there's just pure ignorant. I think there's the pure liberals. And then there's the college voter. How y'all all? Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Beautiful Monday. Ready to rock and roll. A lot covering. By the way, great debate. Last one on Wednesday. I will be gone Thursday and Friday. Carol Ross will be here Thursday. Cover all the debate stuff. She was all pumped up. So she'll be primed and ready to go come Wednesday. I'm sorry. Yeah, she will be on Winging It Wednesday, but on Thursday she'll be primed and pumped up because of the debate as well. So it'd be interesting. By the way, CNN's Stella blames firebombing of new North Carolina Republican office on Trump's overheated rhetoric. That's right. From concluding Donald Trump's overheated rhetoric was the cause of the attack. Brandon, I can sit here and call you names all you want to. You can ignore them and move on. For the press, once again, What about the press corps, folks? What a propaganda machine for the left. The sad thing about everybody that's miserable voting for Democrats in the left are going to be just as miserable when the election's over. They're just as miserable, if not more miserable, after 8 years of President Obama. Miserable. They live in a miserable world. They voting for somebody thinking it's going to make their life better. I've never voted for a guy and said, this guy's going to make my life better. I'm trying to vote for somebody who will leave me alone. I vote totally different than a lot of people. A lot of us vote that way. Conservatives do. Just protect the borders, which we don't do. Get out of our way and let us go live our life. But you got people on the left, they're voting for something. That's why they constant buying of votes. I hope there's a big blessing come today after election, because Hillary Clinton, if you're poor, uneducated, if you're not, life ain't going good for you, and you voted for Obama and it's still not going for you, vote for Hillary, it's still not going to go good for you. It can't, because you have to make it on your own. And policies that they're telling you that think will make your life better, like free college tuition, it's not. You're going to pay for it on the backside. This is not rocket science. And you heard the Hillary voter. They don't even know why they're voting for her. They don't have a clue what she's done. Same thing when Obama ran. They asked that interview, well, why you like Obama? Oh, I don't know. He's young, he's handsome, he talks well. That's it. There's nothing they could say that he's done to make them want to vote for him. Because that's not what they look for. That's why they want more, these people coming across the border, for the most part, are very uneducated. That's the one they want. Somebody they can give a check to that can vote for them. You know, Brandon, I was looking at something the other day, and I look at this all the time. And this started way back. When I pull up to a gas station, whatever, and it's got it in English and Spanish, and I go, why is not everything in English? English should be the official language. English should be the official language of the United States of America. You can end a lot of this stuff. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to assimilate to other people who are coming over here illegally. How dumb is that? That's just not bright. Then I see our bright and best in college voting for Hillary. Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue what they're voting for. All right, let's take a phone call. Let's go to Jack in Natchitoches. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, Moon, how you doing?
Doing fine, sir.
Let me tell you how I see this election.
All right.
If Hillary Clinton is elected, the United States of America has stated we are accepting of corruption in government.
Actually, it's worse than that. We are promoting corruption in government. We're promoting it. We know it's coming with the soap opera. We know good and well she's not going to do anything but hurt us. But I'm going to tell you, there's another story today how she's going to get the Second Amendment. She's going for the Second Amendment when she can get the Supreme Court in the taking. The First Amendment is already being pounded with free speech, which you can and can't say. You know that. There's things you can't say anymore in this country.
Yeah. And a question for you. You remember back in Watergate era when we elected Jimmy Carter, America made a statement there. We wanted honesty and integrity, and Jimmy Carter was the most honorable, integrable person with a track record running. When did the scales tip? When did we say as a nation corruption is okay?
The press and the media has wanted corruption because they're part of it. They push it. If you're on the other side, they protect it. If you're on the other side, they'll pound you. The press has led the charge for that. Got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Anyway, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. CNN Stella blames firebombing of North Carolina Republican office on Trump's overheated rhetoric. What has he been overheated about? Telling the truth on Hillary is not overheated rhetoric. Talking about what's happening at the border is not overheated rhetoric. It's not. It's just not. There's no reason for somebody to go firebomb a headquarters. Now, Rob, here it is right here. This is pretty interesting. Rob just sent to me. It's a GoFundMe. Now, what I was told, let me try to get to it. Dems help open North Carolina Republican office. Okay? They came up with this. They're not accepting any more money because they got all the money they needed. Dems help reopen North Carolina Republican office. October 16th, North Carolina headquarters Republican Party was firebombed. As Democrats were starting the campaign, it enabled Orange County, North Carolina public office to reopen as soon as possible. GoFundMe. What they basically did was they put it up to help raise money. The Democrats did to fund to reopen. And I think he told me 9 minutes, 11 minutes or something like that. They raised all the money they needed. And the Democrats are the ones who helped do it. That's incredible, ain't it, Brandon? I mean, think about that. Gee whiz. The Democrats did it. And by the way, the Democrats are being upset, very upset about what somebody did. Now, if you notice, even the Democrats are not like the CNN Clinton News Network. They did not blame Donald Trump for what happened. This is interesting, you know. See, there are good people in the Democrat Party. They're mostly the voters. They're not the political base. But interesting thing that happens. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. By the way, I guess it's good news in New Orleans. Only 3 dead this weekend. 21 robbed at gunpoint 3 days, Brandon, in New Orleans. Mitch Landrieu's doing a hell of a job down there. 3 dead, 21 robbed at gunpoint 3 days. This, by the way, I got this from the Times-Picayune. I didn't go make it up. I didn't go look for it. It just happened to pop up when I was searching information to look up. 3 dead, 21 robbed in New Orleans in just 3 days. Boy, it makes you feel better. Huh? Thank you, Mitch Landrieu. Mitch doing a hell of a job, folks. Just one heck of a job down there in New Orleans. I'll tell you what, man, he's just unbelievable. Folks, the press is what's hurting us in this country. There is no journalism. There's no journalism anymore. There's just not. ABC, NBC, CBS, all these different news organizations, it's not news anymore. It's angle of the day. It's not news of the day. It's angle of the day. How can we make an angle against Trump, or any Republican for that matter, or anybody that would even be close to a conservative? How can we make an angle against them today? That's what this whole election has become. But this is what the press has been evolving since Ronald Reagan came in. We saw what they did to Bush. They beat Bush to death. They never tell the truth about what Obama's done. One person in the press, or one of the press said that it's Trump is dividing the nation. Folks, if they would look at what Obama's done to this country, talking about dividing the nation, I was happy with my health care. I didn't need any help from Barack Obama and the Democrats. But what I got was, you talk about hate against the healthcare system. It's total hate, and that thing is falling down left and right. That's a dividing of the country. Letting people come across the borders, not vetting them, let them roll into the country and trying to make 12 or 15 or 30 million new citizens overnight, that is dividing the country. That's actions by the President of the United States dividing the country, not Trump. Trump just came on the political scene really about 2 years ago. Healthcare, debt. Obama runs up $20 trillion of debt, $10 trillion on his watch. That divides the country. You know, sending men into girls' bathrooms, that divides the country. Changing the definition of marriage, that divides the country. Okay? Hey, taking up for Black Lives Matter, shooting policemen, that divides the country. Making stories up about Michael Brown when he was not on his knees, hollering, "Don't shoot," with his hands up in the air, and calling that the truth, that divides the country. Not what Donald Trump's been saying. But where's the press corps? Where's the media? Why don't they just cover the stories? You know, when you see what Hillary Clinton, a lot of us think she's gotten away with, quote, murder. Nobody does anything about it. That divides the country. Listening to people that are going to vote for Hillary Clinton who don't even know why they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton, that divides the country. Donald Trump hasn't said or done anything that divides the country. What did he say about women? Bill Clinton has said and done worse. Hillary Clinton did worse to women than Trump ever thought to do, because Hillary actually beat on women that got in the way when there were love triangles with Bill Clinton, her husband, quote, her husband, which I still say is a marriage by convenience. That divides the country. People that can watch this stuff, and the circle of friends I have, when they watch this stuff, they want to pull their hair out. Hillary Clinton gets away with the email controversy, gets away with what happens in Benghazi. That divides the country. That's what divides the country. We're kicking God out and we let Muslims in. We kick Jesus out and we let Muslims in. Hillary Clinton's talking about she's helping women as she takes money from the Muslim countries who just mistreat women to no end. That's what we're upset about. I just don't know if there's enough of us anymore. And what's going to happen at the Supreme Court level, they're going after the Second Amendment when the Second Amendment has always been the rights of the people to be able to defend themselves. That divides the country, what she's doing. But they don't write about stuff like that. They don't write about what really divides the country. They all of a sudden talk about a guy who's not even been in the political landscape, but for a couple years. The Clintons have been in the political landscape for 30 years now, 20, 25 years now. And it's one big soap opera after another. Nobody does anything about it. Got a 21-year-old intern, Bill's having fun behind the desk, and Hillary Clinton and him, James Carville and him beat her to death. He's the president of the United States. You'd think he would know more, but that same saying somebody like me going, what about that? Nope. There's no press corps anymore. There's nothing. They don't do their job. They go after the people they want to go after. They don't do their job. They don't just give me and you information. Had a guy tell me one time, you just like them. I said, how's that? He said, you just give one side. I said, no, I'm giving the other side so people can balance what the left has done. You don't have to believe me. Don't believe me if you don't want to. Believe them. It's an incredible thing to watch. Everybody, look, folks, I can tell you with debates. I don't watch the after debate, all the spin. I don't have to. I can determine my own. I can listen enough and watch it enough to know enough about it to make my own decision. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yet, this is the world we live in now. And Obama wants them to be about 3 news sources that we depend on, and they control that. That's propaganda, man. That's what they have in these third world countries. Let me tell you what, all these news stations would love for that to happen again. You talk about beat on people. They've convinced people that a man going in a girl's bathroom is a good thing. Next thing, man-made global warming. It's going to wipe us out. People are going to start believing that, too. Now, you talk about a lie. Anyway, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. Take a break, and we'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. FBI releases new docs from Clinton investigation. By the way, just some news you can use, some headlines real quick. Hillary Health Scramble, WikiLeaks. Her van has a bed. You know many people that drive around with a... I better not say that. I just thought about that. Bill Clinton had a van. It had a bed in it, so I better not say that. Excuse me. But has a van in a bed. Media guards medical scrutiny. Why is the media's job to guard this? Brian, you see what I mean? You vote for the media. See all these people that think they're voting the right way with Hillary and they think they're going to get some, which they're not. One day they're going to shut you up, too. Oh, no, they won't. Yes, they will. They will shut you up. You're going to agree to shut up the conservative media, all the stuff that's coming, and then they're going to shut you up. All right, here's another one. CNN declares unlawful for public to search WikiLeaks. How you like that, Brandon? CNN saying it's unlawful. Why? Because it devastates Hillary. Let's centerfold twins defend Trump. Race to the bottom, anger and ugliness. Here's a judge give Florida voters, you ready? Give Florida voters chance to fix the ballot. You know, it's all these swing states, all this is happening, Brandon. Calling the state current law illogical and bizarre, a federal judge late Sunday ordered the state of Florida to give thousands of voters a chance to make sure their vote-by-mail ballots are counted. County election officers should notify voters if their signature on the vote-by-mail ballot and their voter registration forms don't match. I mean, whew. 41% say election could be stolen. Here's one right here you're going to like, folks. This is news and comment on the news. Postal worker brags about destroying Trump ballot. Let me see, read it. Postal worker brags online about destroying Trump ballot. That's phenomenal when you think about it. Here's Randy. I love working at the post office in Columbus, Ohio, and ripping up absentee ballots that vote for Trump. They bragged about it on Facebook. I mean, that's incredible. Postal worker bragging about destroying the ballot. Folks, you can't make this stuff up. This is headline and drug. Well, not the headline, but over at the top of it. Postal worker online bragging about it. Massive voter fraud investigation in Texas. And here's my favorite. 40% say tension with family and friends over this election. I got to ask you folks a question. How many of you people have gotten into a tension and fights with your family over this election? I have not. I even got one person in my family said they're not voting, and I'm not in tension with them. I'm not in a fight with them. Brandon, have you come across any of that with your family members?
Family members not voting?
No, it says 40% say tension with family and friends. I haven't.
Oh, yeah.
I had more tension with family not family, but friends when Vitter ran and Scott Angel and Darden knifed him. I had way more tension with that.
I'll agree with that. Everybody in our family is, from what I know, voting for the same person.
Yeah. I don't know, folks. By the way, another headline news, 1,000 more people shot in Chicago compared with same time last year. 1,000. Folks, 1,000. I had to go to Chicago this year. Of course, I ended up in good places, I guess. 1,000 people have been shot in Chicago this year compared with time last year after a weekend that saw 8 more people killed, at least 40 wounded, according to police. Folks, what areas of Chicago is this taking place? Just wonder. I just wonder if it's, you mean to tell me they're having problems in the inner city and Barack Obama's been president for 8 years? A lot of young people have been shot. 7 people. 7 young teens. But shootings occurred in nearly every corner of Chicago over the weekend. And by the way, I don't know if this is what they're showing, but the pictures I'm looking at tend to be all black. Whereas Black Lives Matter. I'm just kind of curious where that great organization is at. Larry in Sulphur. How you doing, Larry?
Oh, pretty good. How you doing, Moon?
Doing fine, sir.
One thing I'd like to bring up, something I just got through watching was that Hillary's America.
Oh, yeah.
And I encourage people to please watch it. It will open your eyes.
I actually have it. I hadn't watched it yet. It's sitting on my table. I don't think I personally need to watch it, but Brandon tells me you just need to watch it.
Well, for the uninformed, they need to watch it because it will open their eyes.
Larry, there's so many people. I don't know if they got enough hours left in the election. I don't know if there's enough hours left in the election to help the uninformed. You heard the college kids at what was it, Georgetown or wherever it was? They didn't have a clue. They love Hillary, but they don't know why. I got to run, Larry. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Yeah, a lot of my friends have seen it. They told me it's an eye-opening. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. Don't forget my good friends, Walk-Ons, Fisher Sports Bar of the Moon Griffon Show. Actually, getting ready to open one in Covington, too, Brandon. One coming to Ellick and Monroe. I don't know if they've set the dates on those yet, but, hey, great place to enjoy. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun for the kids. Food's great. You can enjoy the atmosphere. It is a heap good time. My friends at Walk-Ons, you will have fun. All right. Trump expands rigged election claims include voter fraud. You know what? He's the first one that I've ever seen Republican ever say, besides Woody Jenkins, about voter fraud. And they're finding out stuff all over the place. Here's the problem with voter fraud. I'm just going to be blunt. Somebody don't like it. I can't help them. A lot of the voter fraud, not all of it, is in the minority communities and in the inner cities. Now, I said it. I didn't say all of it. A lot of it happens there. And Republicans don't ever want to be accused of being racist. And that's what scares them. So that's why they don't get involved in it as much. I'm not saying it's the only place it takes. I mean, you got people at the post office throwing away Trump ballots. I mean, that's the post office, Brandon. But I'm just telling you what happens. And remember the other day we played for you, was it in New York? But a guy was talking about all the voter fraud. All the voter fraud that's going on. And they asked him specific, would you tell us where this is taking place? He went, never mind, no, I'm not going to say that. Why? He didn't want to say where it was taking place. That's why. He didn't want to say black. He didn't want to say minorities. He didn't want to say inner cities. He just said, I'm not going to say where. Well, why? Why don't people? Folks, if we don't have honest election, we don't have anything. We have we have nothing if we don't have honest election. Nothing. All right, you heard Trump says we ought to drug test everybody for the debate. Hey, look, let me tell you something, Brandon. I got to say this. If he don't fight back, who will? Because he's running against the press. He's running against the moderators. Although I think Chris Wallace is going to be tough on both of them. We'll see if I'm wrong. I think it'll be tough on both of them. I really do. He's not going to overly hit Hillary, but he's not going to underhit Trump either. You know, and but Brandon, where they can cheat at, they will. You got to remember the left. It's the most immoral group in the world. They've got to lie, they've got to steal, they have to cheat. That's how they operate. And then you see the results of it, and it's always opposite of what they said. I mean, we're going to help people get out of the inner cities. Does it happen? We're going to help the poor people, more poor than ever. You know, we help people prosper, they're going to be able to pay for college. Where's all this happening? We're going to give everybody a chance? When? That's a deceitful lie. Obamacare, deceitful lie. Climate change, global warming, deceitful lie. Everything they do, they have to lie. They don't have to tell the truth on anything because they know they own the voters. They own enough of the voters. They just got to fool enough middle-class people. In this case, they're trying to fool women. But I'm telling you, the press could turn on Hillary and pop her for the next 3 weeks, and Hillary gets beat. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Let's go to Lance, Marksville, Louisiana. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Moon. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Wish we had a station that would catch you over here. I'm listening to you on an app called TuneIn Radio. But anyways, I have a couple of quick points. That caller that called earlier about the Obama signing over the internet,
yeah,
that indeed did happen as of October the 1st. The company that was regulating ICANN, the contract was expired, and he sent it over to the UN to regulate our internet. And also they did shut down Julian Assange's internet as of this morning. That the details of that are still coming out. But the main point, Moon.
By the way, stop right there. Stop right there. If that happens, and I'm not arguing with you by no means, if that happens, then what they would do is they will do what Obama wants done. They're going to control what you can hear and say. That is not a free speech country. That is not a free country to be the best you can be. That is a controlled.
Oh, absolutely.
That is a controlled, totally control of the people, just like we've seen in history around the world. And for us to allow this to happen is repugnant.
Right, Moon. The last beacon of free information is the internet, and talk radio shows like yourself. And I really appreciate what you do. When you go up the food chain, there's really not that many different news organizations. There's only about 5 that run everything. When you look at, like National Amusements owns Viacom, which owns CBS. The Walt Disney Company owns ABC, ESPN, I mean, on and on. Comcast, NBC, Historic Time Warner, CNN, and even your HBOs, whatever station you like on your cable network is owned by one of these 5, and News Corps on Fox. But the main point I wanted to make was real quickly is you see all these polls, and none of them are credible, created by CNN, and Fox News is getting to be the worst. But anyway, if you go on Facebook, you go on Hillary Clinton's page, as of this morning before calling you, she has 7,132,000 likes. Trump has 11,450,000. I mean, that is basically somewhat of a reflection of the.
Hey, by the way, let me give you another one. They said that Trump is taking in more individual money, record number compared to any Republican, anybody that's ever run, individual donors ever. What that tells you, the people don't want what the press is shoving down our throat. We don't want it, but the problem is, will enough people realize what they're shoving down our throat? See, once propaganda gets moving, and propaganda's beating you, that means you never get the truth. You get what the ones in charge want you to know. Obama said it the other day. We need to get back to about 3 sources of news that can tell you what's the truth and sort through. Well, who controls that? Well, the president wants to control that. He wants to control what news is the truth. Or he wants to tell people Obamacare is good. They're not even writing about all the stories on Obamacare, which is, by the way, a total disaster.
Right. Well, Moon, do you remember whenever the president at the time of GE, which owned, before the buyout by Comcast, GE owned NBC, the president was Jeffrey Immelt. Jeffrey Immelt was the job czar of Obama. I mean, do you really think they're going to get any kind of, news, real news?
No. No, but that's... Kind of, that's what they're trying to get back to. They're trying to get back to all you got to believe is what we tell you. And if you believe that, then you're a good American, a true American. You want freedom. But that's a lie. That's an outright lie. There's people that disagree with me. They have a right to be heard. Okay? Right. They have a right to be heard. They don't have the right to be listened to, but they have a right to be heard.
That's right. You're absolutely right, man. Right. And then real quick, if you add those numbers of the Facebook likes and do the math on it, that would have, based on this little poll, Trump would be 62%, Hillary Clinton would be 38%. Hell, you can even cut that in half and give him, 12% margin. I mean, it's just totally different reflection of what these faulty polls show by your mainstream media.
Well, let's see what happens. 3 weeks to go from tomorrow. People are already voting in some states. We vote early, the week before? Is that right, Brandon?
Yep, October 25th through November the 1st is early voting.
Okay, and I probably will early vote. So, all right, got it on. Thanks. Appreciate it, Lance. Appreciate the call. One more quick call. Rick in Bossier City. How you doing, Rick?
I'm good, Moon. Just a quick question for you. Early voting here starts pretty soon, and as usual, you have a cornucopia of constitutional amendments for Louisiana.
I think we got 5 this time. Six this time.
Well, you usually have somebody on there that kind of helps guide us through those things. When are you going to have somebody tell us what?
I'll tell you what I'll do because I'm just going to work. I'm just going to be here through Wednesday. Although I think Wednesday we got some guests. Let me see what I can do about getting that done this week and next week, leading up to the early voting.
I can tell, as a matter of fact, I can tell listeners and to you, sir, as well, where you can go to get information on all 6 of them. We have them at kpel965.com. If you just type in constitutional amendments, we have all 6 constitutional amendments broken down, what they mean, all the information that you could want about them, but broken down into like regular speak. It's at kpel965.com. Just type in constitutional amendments.
How about that?
Is that KPEL965 what now? What?
.com.
Yes, sir.
.com. 965.com.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
How does that work for you, by the way?
Real easy. There you go. Fold these clothes while you're watching the game. You mean to tell me your wife hadn't done that yet?
Oh, I was doing that yesterday.
You enjoying a good baseball game last night? And that's when my wife goes, two big old things of clothes. Hey, would you do this while you were watching the game?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to say?
I'm watching the Saints game while that happens. At least it kind of kept me calm for a while.
I sitting on my rear end, and here comes 2 baskets of clothes. The moral of the story, stay outside watching on my outside TV. Oh, man, I got to laugh at myself. Hell, everybody else is laughing at me. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline if you'd like to be part of the program. I do want to mention my good friend Bobby John, JJ Exterminator. Bobby John and them do such a wonderful job. I've heard nothing but comments. I like when you're going around the state, people say, hey, I'm using Bobby John. I love J&J Exterminator. And that's because they deliver. They deliver what they promise, and basically the best service available in Louisiana. And they're your state's exterminator. They cover every inch of the great state of Louisiana. J&J Exterminator, the only name you need to know. And Bobby John and them do such a great job. So if you're having a bug problem, maybe you're buying a new house, trying to sell a house, you need termite inspection, give them a call. Let them come out there and give you an estimate. And you're not going to cut a check until they do the work. So you don't have to worry about that. But they'll come out there and do free inspections. So and find out exactly what the problem is. J&J Exterminator. Why call anybody else? You can guarantee that from Mr. Bobby John himself. Mike in Alexandria. How you doing, Mike?
How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir.
I was just telling your caller, your screener there, that I was at McDonald's this weekend, and I saw a middle-aged lady wearing a Make America Great Again hat. and I had a little discussion with her, and she said she don't know any women voting for Hillary.
Well, in our state, I don't think there's that many, but I'm just telling you what these national polls are doing.
Oh, it's just exactly. They're just trying to, to discourage people from going out and to vote. Like
Absolutely.
It's already in the bag.
Well, the
but
reason
she said, as far as like the locker room talk goes, Moon, that if you haven't heard that, you're telling them a lie. Everybody has done stuff in the past and said things they wish they hadn't have said. And if we had a tape recorder of everybody's conversation, from when they were able to talk, nobody would get elected if that's the criteria.
Since they were 18 years old, I wouldn't want all my conversations. I don't even want a couple of them we had this morning. And look, the bottom line on any of that stuff is, look, it is what it is, but Trump's giving them some information I can understand, but Hillary's giving more information, way more, to Clinton soap opera. But guess what? What if the press today started running everything Hillary's did to women, she would get no votes. It would come tankering down. The whole apparatus for Hillary has been the press. Hillary went high. She can go in August. She's not getting any more votes any higher. The goal to rip Trump down is the key. That's all they're doing.
And let me take another point, Moon, too. And, talking about polls, how these polls are misleading and trying to get people not to go. And it may be that maybe they are reaching out and trying to call people, but me being a deplorable redneck, I don't normally answer the polls. I don't even answer the calls. So I don't think us deplorable rednecks are probably smart enough to answer a poll and tell who we're going to vote for. So I think they're getting those intelligent Democrats on the phone, and that's who they're getting most of the time than saying who they're going to vote for. That's just me.
Let me tell you something. The polls don't matter. When people go vote, will they understand what they're voting for or against? You're either voting for somebody or against somebody. If you can understand that, Hillary gets beat bad. The problem is, I just played earlier with the college vote, not all of them, but at a particular college, they didn't know why they were voting for Hillary. Had no clue why they were voting for.
Oh, well, they don't have any clue anyway, man. It's just about what's going on now. I got a daughter at Tech, and I try to teach her right and wrong, and she understands, but most of them don't know. They're just there listening to these liberal professors, and they don't tell them the truth. And the poll thing is such a joke. And I got a buddy who calls me. He's on over-road truck driver from Alexandria, and he was telling me about the polls this and polls that. And I said, dude, quit listening to the polls. That's just another mechanism to try to get people not to vote for Trump. It's just all a machine to try to get, the chosen one elected. And I think, in my heart, I believe Trump's going to win by a landslide when everybody comes out. Because I'm going to tell you, I ride around Alexandria all the time. I work for myself. And I don't see any Hillary signs.
I know, but you're not.
Just about
I understand that here, but you're not living in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and all those places, Florida, Ohio. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I know this. They are running some of the nastiest commercials, and the press is helping her tremendously. They know she is a flawed candidate. To give that scornful woman a victory, you will see scorn like you've never seen to talk radio, any conservatives, any alternative media. It's going to be ugly, and you mark my word on that. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, it is going to get uglier, too. And you know what's sad, Moon, is there are people that need to listen to your show, and the other shows don't. So they're not going to understand or actually hear what's going on out there, what she's done. They just listen to the other media that doesn't say anything about her. I listened to that tape one time a while back that somebody turned me on to about when she was a lawyer, and she got this person off for sexually abusing this little girl.
12-year-old girl.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Moon, that made my skin crawl. Listen to her laugh about the evidence got destroyed, and she got it. I could wring her neck, and I'm a Christian, and I'm supposed to turn the other cheek, but Moon, that's real hard to do when it comes to something like that. When it comes to little babies and stuff, man.
Yeah, if Trump plays a commercial like that, they would dog Trump instead of dogging Hillary. That's just where we're in right now. The press
I know,
is
Moon.
horrible.
How do you fight that?
Well,
how do you fight it?
Well,
how do you fight the media?
Well, the problem is if people would go vote, if people would think about what's going on, and if you were to beat them, the media would have no credibility. It'd be done. That's why we need to beat it. Anyway, I got to run. Appreciate the call. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Don says he lives in Wisconsin. How you doing, Don?
Not too bad. How you doing, Moon? I've been listening to your show for about a month and a half now on my radio, on my phone, and I'm glad to hear some Louisiana talk.
Well, do you live in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I live in Wisconsin. I'm a mailman, and I just want to let you know it's not the Postal Service. It's just a rogue, employee that must have did that, tore up that
Oh, by the way, Don, when I read the story, there was a person at work. I just said work for the Postal Service. I believe most people are delivering mail doing what they're supposed to do. But to brag on it on Facebook is really stupid. But they bragged on it on Facebook.
Yeah, well, they better watch out because they could get in trouble.
Oh, I look for them to get in trouble. If they really did this, I look for them to get in trouble on this. I'm going to be a little shocked if somebody doesn't pound the person that claims they did this.
Right. Well, Moon, it's good to hear y'all talk real stories and exactly what's going on, and I appreciate it.
All right, God bless, Don. Thanks for the call. Wisconsin. By the way, it's not by Balkanville, so somebody do not ask me. It's not by it's
a little bit further north.
Yeah. You may want to go a little further north. You may want to go a lot further north. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Let's go to Ed and Horton. How you doing, Ed?
Good. How you doing, Moon?
Doing fine, sir.
I just think that they're coming out with all of these polls so that if they steal the election, they can say the polls back up what even though we don't agree with what the polls say, but they'll have something to try to back up if they steal it.
Well, we'll see. Interesting. We'll see. It's going to be what it's going to be. I know this. I'm going to vote. I'm going to have my one little vote. And I'm gonna make my vote, and I'm done. And I'm voting against Hillary big time. Don't have a problem at all. And I don't know if Trump's gonna change everything around, but I feel like he may do a few things. Hillary would do nothing. I watched Obama for 8 years absolutely tear this country apart, and they're blaming Trump for it. I don't understand that.
Well, we can just hope and pray for the best, Mo.
Yeah, that's about all we're down to. I mean, the press, we know the press is helping Hillary worse than any time I've ever seen in an election. Anytime. Hey, we got to run. Appreciate the call. By the way, Democratic governor, Obamacare no longer affordable to many. Minnesota Democrat governor on Wednesday said Obamacare no longer affordable, wants the federal government to come in and bail them out because it's broke. More than 250 people in North Carolina set to lose their health care plans under Obamacare due to two of the state three insurers dropping out of the exchange. North Carolina is not the only state where 95 of 100 counties will have one insurance. Oklahoma, Alaska, Alabama, South Carolina, Wyoming, and more to come. Obamacare, the disaster, not even talked about by the press, not even asking Hillary about this. Not at all. Unbelievable. All right, 22-hour break. That's all we ask. By the way, Simmons Sporting Goods. We'll be at Simmons Sporting Goods tomorrow. Back in studio on Wednesday, gone a couple of days. I won't even be here for, actually, that's probably good I'm not here for the debate. Cal Ross will be in on Thursday. All right, God bless. Have a great day.